Hello and welcome to etnow.in Realty Conclave and Awards. Today we have with us Mr. Vikram Mehta. He is from Mesacon Group and he's also the president of BDA. Hi sir, how are you doing today?
Very nice, thank you.
So my first question for you would be the western side of India, real estate is actually developing really fast. So how do you see the next decade of western real estate growing in India?
So, if you look at the overall scheme of things, especially if I talk of MMR, the complete focus now is rather than controlling the density of growth, the focus is now to unlock the potential of the land and the various schemes that this government has come out with, including cluster redevelopment, changes in SRA and MADA. It's all rather than piecemeal development. What we are now seeing across the city in the next decade is going to be large scale mega uh, cluster developments that we are going to see. And I think that's going to the good part is that is along with that we are also seeing growth of infrastructure projects development across MMR and further. So all in all, if I look at it, I think there's going to be a lot of development on a positive note, and I think the demand will keep up with the supply. That is my view on that.
You've received an award in excellence in construction quality in Western suburbs. So, what sets your work apart from the other, firms who are actually doing redevelopment?
So at Mesacon, our entire focus is on two or three major aspects. One is majorly on the quality of construction and timely delivery. These are the two things that we are known for. Uh, we do majorly redevelopment projects in the western suburbs of Mumbai. And there are a couple of things that we do which I don't think less than 10% of the developers might be doing. Number one, all our steel that goes into our structures, they're all epoxy-coated reinforcement bars. That's one major aspect of quality. The other thing is, although we are in a corridor which is under civil aviation, so most of our buildings are within 12 stories because there is a height restriction in Ville Parle, Juhu, Andheri where I function. Despite that, we go for aluminum formwork system. Again, that's not predominant in low rise. It's predominant only in major high-rise buildings. In mid-size buildings, it's not very commercially viable. But as a conscious call, we spend that extra buck to ensure that we get a monolithic structure which gives a better resistance to water ingress. On top of that, we do a vertical coating of waterproofing on the structure from the outside, and then as a further layer of protection, we clad all our buildings with dry tile cladding. So there's actually a layer of tile which takes 90% of the brunt of the heat as well as water ingress. And I think because of these, the life of the structure substantially increases. So that's what I think has appealed to the jury.
Well deserved then, definitely. So on the redevelopment front, if I would like to ask you, you probably have faced many challenges as well, and there must be any way that you would have solved those challenges. Any particular incident you want to share, or also give us a view on what challenges you actually face in redevelopment?
Redevelopment is a very unique business model, I would say. And when we do a greenfield project, it's only about the commercial strength because the planning is very easy to plan those structures because everything is based on your requirements as a developers. You assess the market scenario and you plan accordingly. In redevelopment, a lot of it depends on the the existing area of the members. You have to give specific areas, so planning itself is quite a tough situation. And on top of that, there's this human element which is surpasses every aspect. So no matter whether you're doing a redevelopment project in Pedder Road or you're doing a redevelopment project in Borivali, the human element is very crucial. And I think as developers, we need to be sensitive to the requirement of people and not look at them as tenants or
Yeah,
just members, but look
definitely.
at
Yeah.
them as humans for whom this is their biggest investment of their life. Their entire life I have seen lives getting transformed because we've developed chawls also. So we see a child who lives in a
Mhm.
300 square
Yeah.
feet house. When she or he gets a 500 square feet house, the entire or they get a room of their own, the whole thought process of that child changes. And I think as developers, we need to be conscious that we are in a position where we can make change in a society.
Mhm.
And in Mesacon, in our organization, we are very clear on this aspect that foremost is that aspect that we have to look that ultimately we are changing human lives. That is what drives us as an organization.
Mhm.
Everything else follows. Undoubtedly, commercials are important, but that follows. That's our philosophy. And I think that has really helped us in redevelopment.
That's a great philosophy, sir. My last question, sir, for you would be what advice would you give to a person who is just joining the field of real estate, or say starting their own venture into Western real estate, especially in the Western region of India? What advice would you give them?
So I think whether it is Western or anywhere,
Yeah.
the philosophy of development will remain the same.
Yeah.
If I, uh, of course, depending on the area, uh, the local parameters, the approval conditions may be different. But by and large, I think I feel that as developers, uh, there are two things. One is that we are dealing in high value transactions, and we are taking money for something which we are going to hand over after 2 or 3 years. It's a it's very different business model. If
Yeah.
I look at any other model, you pay money and you get your delivery. This is one thing where they pay and
Yeah.
the delivery comes after 2 or 3
Yeah.
years,
Definitely.
and that is where trust becomes a primary factor
Yeah.
for selection of any buyer. That's where the brand and the
Mhm.
trust and the faith comes in. So my advice to any young person who wants to either enter the business or is growing in this business would be to focus on that one aspect which will be a turning point for their growth and their career. This is one industry where trust matters the most, more important than any other field, and which is why I think that is one element, and that does not matter whether you are on the western side of the country or on the eastern side or anywhere else. Work on creating a brand based on trust, and you'll never have to look back.
That's great advice. I hope our young generation entrepreneurs are listening to this. I think it's for every business, not just real estate, but
More
real
so in real
estate,
estate.
yeah, more
See,
so in
because
real estate.
no matter you may buy a Porsche
Yeah,
car or
yeah.
any other car, you pay and you get a delivery.
Yes, yes.
Here you don't get delivery for 3 years, and you have to only rely. No, of course, with RERA and even our
Yeah.
courts being now more
Mhm.
proactive, it's okay. There are uh, these organizations where you can address your
Yeah,
complaints, but that is too late in the day.
yeah, yeah.
Your life, half your life
You've
goes in
already
fighting those
spent so much
battles.
and you
Yeah.
have already worked. Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
That's great talking to
All
you.
right.